I got you, people. So sometimes when I don't have nothing to do and I got things in my mind, I call my brother and we be having like an hour talk, 2 hours. Sometimes we be on the phone like for 3 hours. And we be talking about all kinds of things. And then we was talking about, immigrants and all that. Why immigrants don't really succeed here in their country or in the Americas. And I asked him, well, what do you mean they don't succeed? I mean, a lot of them came here and succeeded. Nah, he says, nope, tribal people can succeed. I said, tribal people, what are you talking? What does tribal people got to do with succeeding wherever they go? I said, yeah, they never built nothing and they're never going to succeed. They too tribal. And I'm trying to think, what is he saying? What does tribal got to do with them succeeding and building something? Why they got to build something? He said, yeah, they never built anything. They never built a bridge and anything. I say, but why they got to build a bridge? They don't need to build a bridges. They live on flat lands. They don't need to cross over. They don't need to build a bridge. The only people that needed to build a bridge were the people that came here to cross land overseas or conquer. Those were the ones that needed to build something, right? The people that already was here already had things that it was sufficient for them not to build anything else. And so that's the main reason. They don't build anything because they're not inspired to build anything to go forward. And, we was having a discussion, that's not right. The only thing they didn't build anything is because they didn't need to. They was already living with what they had, and that's what they passed down. That they had no need to build bridges or weapons or skyscrapers because they wasn't up to that level of taking other people's belongings or property. When the people in Europe, they was killing themselves and robbing themselves, and when they came, or first of all, when they was running out of supplies that they needed, they was thinking that it has to be another way to make more of what they need or what they were stealing, because that's what they was doing. They was stealing. They wasn't earning their stuff because they wasn't working for themselves. They was steal for the most unfortunate, the lesser tribes, and they would go in and raid them and take their food, their woman, whatever metal items they had. You seen history, and they take it. So that's what I was telling my brother. These people came here because they took advantage and they saw these people had wealth, right? When they went to all these tropical Caribbean countries, and they seen the native wearing gold on their nose and golds on the rivers and the streams, that the Indians, the natives, were just stepping right over them, and they didn't care. Why? Because they was used to having these things, gold and silver and all these things that the Europeans never had. They fertile soils, and they all looked at each other and said, well, these people don't know what they have or know what to do with these things. And what the Europeans did, right? They robbed them. They show me where all these streams of golds are at. And some of them would think, why he's so interested on that now only. He's not interested or talking or getting to know us. They were just interested in the gold. They wanted to find where these indigenous people or tribal people had their goals, right? And they didn't have it like secure or in a boat or hidden underground or cave, it was out in the open in the forest. And that's how it happened. When they found this gold, they stole it, they shipped it out. And I was telling them, yeah, but that's the thing. They never built anything with it, because I told them they had no intentions to do anything with it because they didn't need to. They didn't need to go invade another far land because they was content with what they had. Everything they needed to survive was already there. They had no need for cars, for bridges, for skyscrapers. That wasn't built into them like that, because they were peaceful people. They were just family, eating and celebrating. That was the tribal way. But the Europeans, they was interested in wealth and power and asset, right? That's the European way. Everything they want power and money. That's the thing they care about. So we was going back and forth, yeah, but they're never gonna build nothing, and that's why the countries will overstay like that because they think tribal. And I understand what he's trying to say, and I was trying to explain to them they didn't need anything because they was content with what they had. But the thing is that I find that it's true that I don't understand why certain nationalities, countries want to show off or what they're gonna do or what they're gonna accomplish, and they put it out there like in protest. If you want something done, why you want to go out there and protest and let the enemy know what you're going to do? That's what I say, that protesting is a waste of time. That's like for ignorant people that could learn, but they don't want to learn. They just want to go out there and shout and kick cans and get nothing accomplished, because everybody that has done that has been put down or replaced or stopped in their tracks. Why you want to express your ideas out to the government that's going to shut you down? So that's another thing. And so most tribal people don't do anything. So I understand what my brother was talking about. They just come here and they want to live peacefully and they want to live in reservations, right? And the government rather keep them there and send them a check to keep them there so they won't expand. And imagine these people from tribal nations or groups will go out in the open and learn educational skills, technology, and be put into office and change the demographics of government, right? Instead of having Europeans, you have tribal indigenous people in office that will change the laws that will benefit them and not benefit the European conquerors. So I think there's always a way to change things and control things. So I think that's why the Europeans or the Caucasians allow these certain groups to be connected into tribes and not accomplish nothing and stay put in one territory without expanding their knowledge, right? Because they did say knowledge is power if you use it right? So like most of these people are content. Like you got the Amish in their own territories. They don't go out, they don't expand, they don't take office. They just don't want to do anything with society, in the open society. They rather keep to themselves and live the way they are without no electricity, no radio, no cell phones. And to this day, 2025, going on 26, they're still living. So I don't know if it benefits them or benefits, the government. But if they still living and I think they're doing something right. They just don't want to evolve. I don't think, they should stay in reservation, because I think to me that's a prison. Staying in reservation, you can't enjoy the land like everybody else. But, I think it's up to the people. I don't think the government should restrict somebody just because they want to be in a tribal reservation. They can't come out. It's like being in jail. You don't even got a pass. I mean, if you leave and you get hurt, you're not entitled to anything. But you're walking in the same land, living in the same land, and you work in the same land for yourself. So I think that's wrong. So what he was trying to explain to me that it doesn't work, and most like 50-50, I think I agree with him, because we was going back and forth arguing, but he understood me, I understood him. So I don't think like tribal people don't understand that they're trapping themselves. Another thing is when tribal people come, what I mean tribal is people that live together and they all think the same way and they all do this. They rob no matter if you give it to them or not, they're gonna rob you, So just like saying like this Minnesota state, that they say that this state was offered to them. Now, I don't know who offer a whole state to a particular group of people. I don't know who got the power to do that. I'll say we're gonna give a whole state to a group of people, of individuals to run it. But instead, they wasn't running it, and they wasn't putting in their own money. They was taking the money of taxpayers, workers. That's what they was doing. They wasn't working. They wasn't cultivating the state, right? They would open shops or whatever with taxpayers' money. They didn't came here and evolve and put work into the state, right? The state was given to them freely, like they say, and they took advantage of it, and they was parading and saying things to other races that were here already that had put work into this country, blood, sweat, and tears, but they had it easy. Talking about in one generation, they built Minnesota. They established themselves. No, they didn't establish themselves, or they worked for themselves. It was, like they say, given to them, and all these privileges just for them applying for it, they was giving it to them. None of them had to work hardcore labor or anything like that, or fight for any rights entitled to them. Everything, like they said, it was given to them. They never worked for it. So that's what I said. A lot of people that come here that have this, like he said, had this tribal mentality. They don't come here to work, and so they just want the handouts that this country, America, provides. And I agree with him on that. And a lot of people agree on that, but that's why there's a lot of people that has, I don't think it's animosity or envy. They just don't like when other people come from this country and they get all these benefits and privileges that should be only for people that had did the most for America and this country. Other people shouldn't come here and just get automatically these rights. Because I understand that when other people from other countries come here to America and they land here, we already giving them rights that they really don't deserve. We just want to show them gratitude or hospitality, that if you come here, we're going to treat you like one of us. And it doesn't work out for us, because then these people want to change our laws and demand that we do things that we new to them. It's not, and it's not going to work. That's why people are upset. That's why it started with the Hispanics, the Africans, but the Africans are still out there selling stuff or whatever. And sooner or later, they start protesting that they think that they could run a country that we just let them in and, to enjoy our way of life, our freedom, and they're taking advantage of. They're also going to get put on the ICE list and get deported, because now, the new president is not having that, and everybody's agreeing with the president. Just because most don't agree, a lot of people are agreeing with it. They're just not coming out and saying it because they probably, they're timid, they're afraid. But no, a lot of people are agreeing with the president, and I agree with the president, because, we got to fix the mess, before other people from other places start telling us that we got to change our laws to fit them because, they're different from us. No, you came to us. You have to follow the laws that we follow, not the laws that you think we got to change to accommodate your lifestyle. And that's how it goes, people. And the person that I was talking about is Tanko Native. The only thing is that he don't speak about these political things. He's into just talking about his lifestyle and what he does and how he grew up, and then situations that are personal that can help other people, understand relationships and partnership and things like that. But me, this channel is open to all kinds of topics and things like that. But anyway, people, I just want to say, if others going to come to this country, they going to have to obey the laws of the land, not the laws that they had out in their country, on their tribal country or nation. You have to obey by the laws and rules of the country you go to. And with that, people, I let you go and you think about that.